Portugal beat Croatia, Ronaldo buried the penalty, Ramos scored the winner in stoppage time, and we are through to face Spain in the next round of this World Cup. But if you watch this game, and especially the second half, you know that for 19 minutes, maybe a little bit more, Portugal was set for World Cup disaster. And I'm putting that squarely on Roberto Martinez once again. I'm going to break down exactly why his quadruple substitution almost cost us the World Cup presence and one tactical domino that gave Croatia exactly what they wanted and the player who actually saved it. Let's get into it. Now, before I go into the second half, and I will, trust me, we have to acknowledge what Portugal did in the first 45 minutes, because the team that walked off at halftime and the team that walked back on for the second half barely looked related at all. Rafael Leão was a menace, was so direct. 5 minutes in, he's already serving Bruno Fernandes on a silver platter. But not just that, he was aggressive on his 1v1s. He made Stanisic run and forced Croatia to really drop into a back five and a lower block that allowed Portugal to pin them through most of the first half, really, and dominate. Rafael Leão had such a big impact, and he can have that impact when he wants to. He needs to just be more this version of himself and less the one that we saw in previous games. On his back, Portugal really established control of possession. We had a good rhythm of play, and we recovered the ball much higher on the pitch as well as a consequence. And with the defensive line much closer to Vitinha and João Neves, Portugal absolutely bossed it with a high-intense pressure and quick recovery, especially in the middle of the pitch where Portugal recovered the ball 9 times against once from Croatia. Unfortunately, Portugal didn't put his chances away. Otherwise, the match could really have been done and dusted by halftime. But, halftime comes and something changed. Now, with top teams, this will happen. And Croatia came out of the break and did one thing differently. They understood that the only way to really beat Portugal was to explore the key deficiencies that we have. They overloaded their right wing, which is our left defensive side, to explore the lack of diligence, let's say like that, from Rafael Leão, and extended the pressure to a slightly higher block as well. And suddenly, Vitinha couldn't receive the ball in turn, anymore under no pressure like he did before. Bruno Fernandes started dropping a little bit deeper, and he's not in a position anymore where he can hurt the opponent. And in fact, it will likely hurt his own team, like you see here. Croatia scored quickly, which, it's concerning, especially since a goal that doesn't happen out of nothing, as I explained before. And yes, Cancelo kind of misjudges the aerial ball again, but rewinding 5 seconds before that, look at what is happening on the other side. Leão is being passive. Nuno Mendes now has to be isolated, and he has to defend the interior space by himself, and that leads to an unopposed cross. So now we're 1-0 down. The World Cup is on the line, and Martinez has a decision to make. And what happens next is quadruple substitution. And this is where genuinely I believe that he got it completely wrong. And I'm going to show you exactly why. So, you can see it and decide for yourself. And obviously, if you agree with me in what I'm about to say, or if you think that I got it completely wrong, leave a comment down below. I read every single comment, and I will definitely be super happy to keep the discussion going, and I'll absolutely reply to every single one of you. So now let's go back to my point. Martinez makes 4 substitutions in one go. Bruno Fernandes goes off, and by the way, what a surprise, and the first time it happens, and I'm glad it did, because it shows that Martinez can do it. Then also off Vitinha, Pedro Neto, and João Cancelo. Now, 3 of these substitutions are like for like, are player for player, and I'm not going to debate them. But the one that worries me is the Vitinha one, because he brings in Goncalo Ramos and takes Vitinha off. And this is a problem, because most people will look at that and say, amazing, he's losing 1-0, he's going for it, rah, rah, rah. It's wrong. It's completely wrong. Firstly, because Portugal was reacting, and the last 2 big chances in the match before the subs, they were Portugal's chances. The Rafael Leão one where he hits the crossbar from outside the box, and the one with Cristiano Ronaldo, which gets disallowed because he has half of his shoulder offside. So, let me really show you what happened specifically with the shape after these changes. So we go from a controlling 4-2-3-1 or 1-4-2-3-1, which is really stopping Croatia from playing in the middle. They weren't creating problems in the middle of the park. And we now advance our 10 to play as a forward, because here's the thing. Ramos is not a number 10. He's a striker who has been asked to play in a position that he doesn't naturally occupy. He will not behave as a midfielder. And, every instinct he has is to play like he likes to play, be a striker. So in reality, what Martinez did here was took 2 midfielders off the pitch, but only put 1 back on. He replaced the other with a forward player completely out of position. And the midfield went from 2 controllers to 1. And against a team with Luka Modric in it, that's dangerous because, Actually, let me show you what. With Ramos pushing higher, almost as a second forward rather than a genuine midfielder, there was a massive gap in the middle of the park. Bernardo Silva is only one player, not two. So Croatia could now, play with Modric with zero pressure, continue to overload the right flank, where we were having really a winger that doesn't defend, and ultimately give like one of the best midfielders ever a buffet of options. It was open season for Modric, and the entire control that Portugal had in the first half was completely gone. In fact, Croatia, now had full control of possession, could play from right to left to right, and through this overload in the middle, which made absolutely no sense. And although, I understand the intent, you want to go for it, etc., you go for the game, but the execution completely broke the team structure in exactly the areas where Croatia is strongest, where there is Modric, when there is Kovacic, etc. So, again, intent was good, but it made no sense. And then comes the other part, because right after the substitutions, Ronaldo scores because of the penalty. And yeah, he, first of all, steps in, buries it, pressure moment. It doesn't crumble. Job done. Fantastic. This is why you want Ronaldo on the pitch as well. But let's separate the two things, because a penalty falling from the sky on a defensive error on a corner has nothing to do with whether Martinez substitutions were the right call. The penalty rescued the result, let's say it, and the score line is now 1-1, so that's good. But it did not retroactively make the tactical change a smart gamble. The midfield was still broken, Bernardo Silva was still isolated, and Modric still had all the time in the world. And for 19 minutes, Portugal was in real danger, and we got away with it for 19 minutes. And then, obviously, minute 81, Martinez, finally did what he should have done early, because he brings Ruben Neves on for Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, taking Ronaldo off, first of all, with a 1-1 in a knockout is a massive goal. And again, like I did to Bruno Fernandes, kudos to Martinez, because he wasn't scared to make this change. And this is a good change. Ronaldo, 81 minutes, come out, give the opportunity for a fresher player like Goncalo Ramos, and he did. Obviously, Goncalo Ramos was already on the pitch, but you understand my point. So, tactically, at least, it made complete sense to make this change and to move Ramos off to the centre forward position, which is his natural position, and Neves slots in alongside Bernardo Silva, gives us more control, and suddenly Portugal has, again, three genuine midfielders in the middle, and again, Modric is no longer able to play free and to roam around and dictate what happens on the pitch. And look at the difference with the 3-3 restored. Every time he receives the ball, there is a body on him. Or, when people are trying to feed him, they can't even find him because there's so much pressure around him. And, this absolutely dried up Croatia, and the control that Croatia had once again went back to Portugal's side. And the irony of all of this is that Ramos, now playing as a centre forward in his natural position, goes on and scores a goal. And credit to Martinez on making that correction, because again, you have to give credit, but I keep feeling the same thing that I felt on the other videos. Why did it take 19 minutes and nearly Portugal being knocked out? Because Croatia had so many opportunities. If it wasn't for San Diogo Costa, we would have lost this game. And I surely hope that, Martinez has learned his lesson, because Spain are next, all right? And on paper, they're by far a much stronger task. They play a different style than Croatia. They have more possession. They're more structured on the build-up. They definitely bring more frustration to the teams that are defending when they had the ball. And yeah, sure, they've shown problems, and I'm not convinced at all by Spain in this World Cup so far, even with the 3-0 win versus Austria. And I do think that Portugal has areas where we really can hurt Spain. But don't make these mistakes again, Martinez, because they will kill you. And I'm going to leave it to the next video. I'm planning on a full match analysis breakdown. If you want to see that video, leave a comment down below. Let me know that you want to see that video, and I'll definitely produce it before the game. Yeah, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel as well, and you press the bell button, because you're going to be able to continue to receive notifications on the content. And if you enjoyed this one, obviously leave a like as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a comment. Let me know. Do you think that Martinez got away with it? Or was the quadruple substitution really necessary and a stroke of genius? I'll be happy to get on discussion on that. So leave a like, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.